Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Naughty Degen here, coming at you with another video. In this video, I want to go over all the anti-NFT arguments I have heard. Now, this video is somewhat inspired by this line go up video, the problem with NFTs, but I'm not going to be going through his video and debunking him one by one. I want to just focus on a lot of the arguments I've heard. Some of what he said will be covered in my video. But just so everyone knows, I'm not straw manning him. If I say an argument that I've heard that wasn't in his video, I'm not assigning that argument to him. All right, I'm just using this as a reference. And yes, I will touch on some of the stuff he said. And he did bring up a couple valid points in his video, to be quite honest with you. So starting off is number one, the environmental thing. I've heard from a lot of people that NFTs are bad for the environment, right? And this simply is not true. For one, Ethereum is switching to proof of stake. It's not there yet, and I get that, but is switching from proof of work to proof of stake. There are currently L2 solutions that are carbon neutral for NFTs. Now, one of them being Immutable X, which is a really cool L2, and I encourage everyone to explore that. They are partnering with GameStop to launch their NFT marketplace. So definitely look up Immutable X and subscribe if you want to see more content on that. But Immutable X I'm huge on, but there's other ones out there too that are a lot better for the environment and, or carbon neutral, which is basically the gold standard for being environmentally friendly. And while it's true that not everybody is using these, you cannot assign blame to NFTs for human action. That's like assigning blame to cars because someone chooses to use a gas-guzzling Hummer over an eco-friendly Prius. Same thing with NFTs. People have the choice to use L2s that are currently carbon neutral or go on ETH layer 1 and mint there. That's ultimately up to the individual, and there should be no coercion or anything forced on them to go either way. But ultimately, just like with cars, it's human choice. So you cannot blame NFTs just as you cannot blame human cars for people making, less environmentally considerate decisions. Number two is that NFT art is awful. Now, there's a lot of NFT art that I don't like, plain and simple. A lot of it I don't like, and I want to make a clear point here, not all NFT stuff is art related. There's a lot of other things like gamefi, which I'm more bullish on than art, that is up and coming. But just focusing on the art for right now, this is obviously not a good argument against NFTs. Oh, well, the art is sucky, right? That's subjective. Art is very subjective. And there is an economic theory called Austrian subjective value theory. And that essentially says that if someone is willing to pay something for something, that in that instance, they subjectively value that item more than whatever they're trading. So if they're trading $500 for a picture of an ape, or, give a better example, $100,000 for a picture of an ape, it is because in that instance, they value that ape more than that $100,000. Now, I'm not gonna, stick my head in the sand. Obviously, there's speculation going involved. I'm not gonna deny that, but to use that as an argument as NFTs as a whole, that the art is, sucky, purely subjective and not a good argument against NFTs. Number three, and that is the idea that NFTs are creating an artificial scarcity, okay? Now this one has some truth because technically speaking, it is artificial scarcity. I don't think that's a good argument against NFTs, and here's why. We've seen for, many, many years, right? Baseball cards sell for big amounts of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. What is a baseball card? Nothing more than a piece of cardboard with ink on it. Yet it sells for hundreds of thousands of dollars. That too is built on artificial scarcity. Technically speaking, there's nothing, other than legal things that could stop a company from, just making another one, right? And there's just like same thing with NFTs, only the law is replaced with smart contracts. So this artificial scarcity argument I don't think really holds up very well because lots of things in life are based on artificial scarcity. Baseball cards, Magic the Gathering cards, Pokemon cards, those are things that objectively speaking are just paper with cardboard with ink on them. However, we've seen them go for lots of money, even going back a long time, 90s, 80s, 70s, right? We've seen them go for lots of money, even though they are technically just artificial scarcity. So again, I don't think it's a good argument against NFTs. Doesn't really hold much weight. All right, number 4 is the idea that NFTs are all about greed and, financialization of, all aspects of the economy. People are against NFTs in games because, oh, well, it's just to get people a lot of money. Look, I hate these arguments about, greed and whatever. Everyone is motivated by greed. Everybody is motivated by self-interest, and that's just the reality of it. Now, in terms of greed, when it comes to NFTs in like video games and stuff like gamefi, developers are already making millions of dollars off microtransactions for cosmetic items that you cannot resell. NFTs in games benefit the gamers more than it does the developers. You can go and spend hundreds of dollars in a game, and once you get bored of that game, there's nothing you could realistically do. I mean, maybe if it's like a game that's like, World of Warcraft, you could like sell your account or something. But again, there's not much you can do when you spend all that money on like microtransactions in a game. Apex Legends, if you go and spend all this money on loot boxes trying to get a cosmetic item or an heirloom, and you get it and then you're done, there's not much you could do. NFTs change that. So with NFTs, you could spend money in-game on things that you want, and then when you're done playing the game, you could either sell them or rent them or what have you, and it ultimately benefits the gamer, right? Again, companies are already making millions of dollars off digital cosmetic items or digital items. It's been that way for a while. It's nothing new. This argument of like, oh, it's greed and yada, 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 that is completely separate from NFTs, okay? And again, everything is greed. Everything, people are self-interested. That's just the reality of the world. Number 5, and that is that saving an NFT, it defeats the purpose of the NFT because someone could just screenshot it, right? And for that, I have an example for you. If I go to a museum and I take a photo of the Mona Lisa, do I then own the Mona Lisa? Of course not, right? That would be ridiculous to say. It's the same thing with NFTs. Just because you have a picture of something doesn't mean you own it. And on top of that, especially with games coming around that use NFTs, you can't use I have an NFT for a game called Nifty Smashers, right? And someone takes a picture of that, they can't play that game with my NFT. They need my NFT to play that game. It's all verified in the smart contract. So when it comes to that, while there is some truth in the sense that someone could take a photo of art and now they have it on their phone, or they take a photo of your NFT and now they have it on their phone, that does not mean that they own the NFT. Just as, and again, you could say it's a stupid example, but try debunking it. Just as me going and taking a picture of the Mona Lisa does not make me own the Mona Lisa. Oh, but it's digital, it's different. That's the same argument people used again with Bitcoin, many years ago. Oh, well, it's digital, it's internet money, it will never be anything. Whether something is digital or not has nothing to do with, any valuation or any type of argument against it. We live in the digital age, and that's not going away. And NFTs are simply a way to establish ownership in the digital age. Alright guys, there you have it. Those are 5 common arguments against NFTs that I did my best to debunk. If you have any more arguments, comment them down below. I would love to make a second video or reply in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video and want NFT or GameFi or DeFi or just general crypto content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a like on the video. It will help me out so much and also push it in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.